Shaggy. This is your uncle back here in the real world. Not like you are over there in that fantasy land that you call Hawaii. I understand you want me to tell a couple of little things about you growing up and all, and I've got a couple of things that I can tell you. When you was little, you was one of the ugliest youngins I ever seen in my life. You ain't changed a whole lot either. But just to show you, your daddy took you on a train trip one time. And as the train was going down and had got started on route, you got to standing up in the seat and you was throwing peanut holes at the lady behind you. Well, she called the conductor complaining and said, "Would you mind telling that man to make his monkey sit down and quit throwing them peanut holes at me?" Well, your daddy overheard it. He got real mad, and so the conductor calmed him down a little bit and said, "Mr. Jenkins, just calm down. Everything's going to be all right." He said, "Here, let me go get you a glass of water or something," and said, "I'll bring you a banana for your monkey also." Now, there was a time when I was growing up, me and your daddy and all the other boys and all, we growed up in a little country community. And there was probably 12, 15 houses or so in this community, and a church, and a little country store. Well, this little country store was really located right across the road from us. Carried just basic needs like bread, hoop cheese, a few little canned goods that you could run across and grab, keep from having to go into town to the store, because Mom and Daddy only went once a week to town to buy groceries. Had candy bars and some ice cream, and they call them sodas now, but we used to call them dopes. If you ask for a dope now, they're liable to lock you up. Well, anyway, I'd gone across the street to get me a dope and some peanuts, and I was sitting out front, because that little store wasn't air conditioned or nothing. In the summertime, I think they had to put the chocolate candy in the refrigerator, keep it from melting. But I was sitting in the shade out front, and this great big old Cadillac drove up. And when the man jumped out, I noticed two little sticks fell out on the ground, and he reached down, picked them up, and threw them back in the car. I said, "Hey, what was them you just threw back in the car?" He said, "What?" I said, "Them two sticks." He said, "Oh, them's golf tees." I said, "What you do with them?" He said, "You put your balls on them." I said, "Man, that car company thought everything, didn't he?" Well, there's a time, too, I was walking down the road. I was going to walk to town. And it was pretty warm that day. And of course, again, we lived out in that little community. And the road was a winding little road. And I guess we lived probably 5, 6 miles, something like that, from the town itself. And so as I was going down the road, this big car pulls up beside of me and says, "Hey, boy, where are you going?" I said, "I'm going into town." And he said, "Hey, you want a ride?" I said, "I'm headed that way, so I'll be glad to give you a ride." And I said, "Well, sure." Well, I've never been in one of them big fancy cars that had air conditioning in it. When I got in, he reached over and twisted a little old knob, and next thing I know, man, it was getting cold in there. Where I'd been sweating and everything, my shirt was getting cold, and I was getting cold, and I started to shiver. I said, hey, let me out." He said, "For what?" "I'll take you on into town with this to house." I said, "I got to go home. You don't understand." He said, "What?" I said, "I got to go home." I said, "This weather's done got so cold out here. Daddy's probably going to be killing a hog, and he's going to expect me to be there to help him kill that thing."